I think that if a creator is relying on us and building their business on us, we owe them that support. And I want to put all the energy into making that support efficient and effective.
What goodies do you have in store for us? What can you tell us about the future of YouTube and AI tools?
We've got a few features around using generative AI to suggest thumbnails for you.
Is there anything else exciting happening with creator monetization that we can look forward to?
There's 3 things that the team obsesses over and we talk about repeatedly and focus on.
Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake, and I'm here with Amjad Hanif, the VP of Creator Products at YouTube.
It's been a while. I think it's been about a year since we talked last.
Yes, and the last time we talked, there was great moves with creator monetization to the ads feed in YouTube Shorts and the expansion that's been rolling out, lowering the monetization requirements, getting creators that fan funding. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, we're probably halfway through the expansion of what we've called the new tier of YPP for fan funding. A few more countries to add to that, but we're looking to finish all that by the end of the year.
Is there anything else exciting happening with creator monetization that we can look forward to?
I mean, I think the biggest things that we've seen since the early part of this year when we started Shorts Rev Share, that's actually performed really well. Every month, creators are earning more from Shorts Rev Share than the month before. So that's done really well. I think fan funding is also a new exciting thing for creators. Creators are starting to earn much earlier in their career and getting those first paychecks maybe a year before they might have done that in the past.
I've actually seen a lot of people reaching that new tier of monetization very rapidly, being very excited about it. I've also seen a lot of the gifted subs memberships going out. The gifted memberships have been like something that we've been looking forward to for a while now, and I've actually seen people using it and taking advantage of it.
Yeah, memberships is actually a really interesting space. We spent a lot of time making some improvements there. The gifting of subs is one big one. It's helping introduce a lot of new subs to your channel. We've also started to make some improvements to make it easier for people who like your content to actually discover that you have membership available. So we're starting to show that. I don't know if you've noticed it.
Yeah, I have actually.
And that's helping creators get new subs in a way that we weren't able to do before.
Are we going to see some improvements or some changes to the members only area and maybe some expansion there in terms of what we're able to do?
Probably not in the members only area. A lot of our plans over the next few months are around how to get more of the folks that love your content to become familiar with your membership offering. So we also announced a few weeks back a way for creators to make videos available for members only for, say, a few weeks, and then it becomes public afterwards. So it gives their members a chance to get that content in an exclusive period, and then makes it available to all their fans right afterwards.
That makes total sense, and it's a really good way to onboard people, but as well, not have to really add an extra level of a burden for a creator in terms of making purely exclusive content and disrupting their release schedule. So I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Something I wanted to ask you about, because I know that everyone is going to ask me about it, is we've been seeing the A/B testing tool, and we've seen wonderful creators like Mr. Beast get a hold of that early. When can we expect that? And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Great. It's something that I think my first day at YouTube, I heard from at least a dozen folks, and we've been working hard on it for a while. Just a little bit of the backstory on that. It's the systems that we built at YouTube, we never assumed that there would be more than one thumbnail. So it took a lot of work from a lot of different teams to change the infrastructure to allow creators to do this. So a few weeks back, we introduced the thumbnail testing feature to the first 1,000 creators. In a few more weeks, we're going to expand that group to about 10,000. And by the end of the year, we'll be at 50,000 creators.
Wow.
And so that'll give creators a chance to test their thumbnails with their audience, learn, and improve from that.
Okay, that's a pretty rapid rollout for a dramatically new feature. Are there any other plans around this? Are we going to be able to A/B test titles, for example?
There aren't other plans around testing titles. We've got a few features around using generative AI to suggest thumbnails for you. We don't have any plans around testing titles themselves. We're really going to put a lot of energy in getting thumbnail testing out to more and more creators.
So I actually have another question before we get into the generative AI, because I'm chomping at the bit when it comes to that one. I'm a big fan of what we're seeing with generative AI and how it's helping more creators to cover gaps in their abilities. And I think it's just tremendous. And I love the idea of seeing this native in YouTube instead of just third-party tools. But I do need to ask something else about thumbnails. I've had a vision of thumbnails for a long time, of us having dynamic thumbnails in YouTube so that you can cater an experience to different groups of people and they can click on the thumbnail that resonates with them. And I do believe that AI and YouTube and Google's resources are strong enough to know what someone will and won't click on so they don't see the same thumbnail twice if it's not getting the click, not resonating with them. I believe this could massively extend the shelf life and the ability of a video to be able to reach the proper audience. Are there any plans for that in the roadmap, or am I just looking too far into the future?
Well, look, it's a great idea. We've actually spent a lot of time talking through that. And the way we've described it internally is there a way for us to generate thousands of thumbnails for a particular video that tailor to each and every audience that you might have, or each segment within your audience?
Or even regionally.
Regionally, different languages, different age groups as well. We don't have any plans to build that. And there's one thing that we've got to figure out as well is one of the pain points that viewers have is sometimes they see the same thumbnail, they see a different thumbnail for the same video. And we've got to make sure we find a way that we're not always changing the thumbnail for the same video, because for some users, that can be really confusing.
I agree. And it can make someone feel like, wait a minute, did I or did I not watch that video? There's some confusion there. Even with creators themselves with their branded thumbnails, sometimes it might feel repetitive and someone will think they watched a video that they didn't, or vice versa. So I totally get it. So let's talk about generative AI. Let's move into that territory. What goodies do you have in store for us? What can you tell us about the future of YouTube and AI tools?
So you heard a lot of announcements today, and a few of those are ones that we've been working on for a while. One of those is inspiration and being able to come up with ideas. So one of the hardest things, and you talk a lot about that on your Twitter feed as well, is where do you come up with ideas for the next big video? We've created a whole new area within analytics that gives you ideas of trending topics that your audience is interested in. And then with generative AI, we give you suggestions for an outline that gets you on that path to creating your next video.
So a whole outline for your video, not just a video idea, not just a video title, not just a topic that you could get from Google Trending, but an actual outline for the video that you could action on?
Yeah, it's an actual outline on like this topic. You may not be very familiar with it, but it's a trending topic that your audience is also really interested in. And we'll give you a few bullets and a few headings that get you on your path to researching that video.
Will this be in the research tab or will it be its own thing?
It'll be part of the research tab.
Okay, so this extends those capabilities and makes them much more robust. Does this rely on the Google Bard technology in the background?
Yeah, it relies on Bard, and Bard helps us figure out a lot of this stuff. And we also take into account your audience, because we could just share with you trending topics from all over, but we really want to focus those on the things that your audience is most interested in.
Will we be able to interact with this with prompts, or will this be something that we input prompts in, or will this be automatic?
You can put in, there's a few suggestions based on what we know is trending, but you can also put in your own prompts and we'll generate an outline based on the best knowledge we have available.
Oh, that's perfect for me. I can add that to my creator prompts product now. So more work for Roberto. Well, that's great. And is there anything else? So that one is one of the new generative AI features. I think this is going to be great around ideation, helped with the scripting process. This is something that many creators, especially new creators and small YouTubers, struggle with. I mean, it is a straight up struggle bus session. Just getting to this part of it and knowing what to make and why to make it and who to make it for. It's something that I have to teach creators regularly. Is there more in terms of AI tools and functionality coming that will help support creators?
There is. There's a couple more, but I just want to go back to what you said about creators in that moment. I've heard it a lot from creators as well, that one of the hardest things is coming up with that next set of ideas. Sometimes it comes easily and sometimes it takes a lot of work. Part of this research tab, you'll also be able to save these ideas. So you can kind of have a backlog of things. Maybe you're waiting around, maybe you've got some free time. Go through, identify a few of those outlines, create that backlog so you can go to it on those days where it feels like the ideas aren't coming.
See, back in my days, or back in my day, in the olden days of YouTube, back in my day as a creator, I had to like keep a notebook for my ideas and I would revisit. I'd usually write in field notes. I don't know if you're familiar with like Aaron Draplin's field notes. I have a bunch of those. And sometimes I'll still do that. A lot of times now I just put it in my Apple Notes. And I would just go and revisit ideas sometimes. And even if it was months later, it would be like this really good idea or this outline that I wrote, revisited, and I'd execute on a video. Having that native directly in YouTube, I think is going to be so powerful and so important for a lot of creators. So definitely appreciate the work there. Speaking of supporting creators, before we get more into different tools and these things, I have to ask, Is there any plan going forward to expand the support to creators when they have issues? I love that with the new tier of monetization, creators actually get access to chat support a lot sooner than they normally would. But a lot of creators don't even know that they have that access. A lot of people reach out to Team YouTube. Shout out to Abby and everybody at Team YouTube. Thank you for taking care of us over there. But is there any plan when creators have issues, whether it's some of the securities issues we've seen with hacking, this invalid traffic bug, or anything else? Or what's the plan for tools or ways for creators to just get more support on the tech side?
So for creators that are part of YPP, we actually spent a lot of work last year expanding support to millions more creators. And so inside Studio, you'll see a way to chat with the support agents. They're the best resource for you to understand what the problem is or to get help with a particular problem.
And the line is very short. Whenever I've seen it and everything like that, it's not very hard and it's not a long wait at all.
Yeah, it's not a long wait. We put a lot of energy into, at least internally, to make better tools for our agents, so we're able to expand support to more creators. I mean, and the reasoning behind that, I think it's important to share the way we think about it. We understand for a lot of these creators, they are running a small business. And so if something happens that affects their analytics or affects their access to their account, we want them to be able to call us and get speedy, efficient resolution of those problems. We understand how serious that is, and that's why we put so much energy into expanding support to more and more creators. That doesn't mean we always get it right. Like any big platform, we will make mistakes, but we're here to learn from those and get better over time.
That's what I've seen is YouTube continuously get better over time. Again, I'm an old timer. I've been around since the old days when this was done on Macromedia Flash, back when Macromedia owned it before Adobe, back in those days.
I remember those days as well.
Yes, back in the HTML3 days.
Yes.
So the days where we would wait with longing for a Freddie Wong video to drop on a Friday afternoon. That being said, having had a background myself in web hosting, has YouTube looked at potentially, even if it has to be a paid tier, a support ticket system and a support call system where creators, especially established creators, can reach out and get their issues taken care of a lot more quickly, because YouTube is so big with literally almost 3 billion users now, millions upon millions of creators worldwide in the partner program. That's a lot of resources, but it's also a lot to ask in terms of always having that availability. And so I wonder if there are any plans for a premium support level in the future. It's something I keep pitching.
Yeah, it is a good idea, and it borrows from a lot of enterprise software companies have that concept. Just philosophically for us, we haven't really looked at that, because I think that if a creator is relying on us and building their business on us, we owe them that support. And I want to put all the energy into making that support efficient and effective versus putting a lot of energy into a higher tier of support.
Makes sense.
I've worked for many years, and I know in a company that can be very confusing when you're charging for money for support. Where do all the resources go? And so I really don't want to open that path. I really want to make sure our core support offering for most of our creators.
It makes sense. Instead of creating, you don't want to see a 2-tier system of YouTube.
Yeah, I've worked at places before where it ends up becoming, that's where all the attention goes. And I want the creator who's starting out and is earning their first paycheck to have the same access to support that somebody who's been around for a few years does.
Well, that's extremely commendable. And I think that's a great answer for people who, have been asking about that, because I'm not the only one. And I also think it just shows where your mindset is and where like the heart of the company really is when it comes to the creators. So I really do appreciate that. With regard to creators and the work that we're doing and everything like that, I've actually been doing a lot more with live streaming, and I love the experience of streaming to my audience every week, spending time with my community. Is there any expansions or any updates coming to the live streaming features and tools in YouTube live streaming? Anything else also, even with clips? What's going on with that?
Okay. We've introduced some improvements in live. I think we now have 4K. You might have taken advantage of that so far. We're also spending a lot of time on vertical live streaming.
I've seen that.
Have you had a chance to try that out with your audience?
I haven't yet. Vertical is not quite my jam yet. I went through the trouble of building this widescreen studio setup. So
yeah, folks are dipping their toes into it. It's a different experience because there's a lot of serendipity in it, especially if it's part of a feed. But that's probably one of the newest things that folks have been starting to do. And my team is also working on just thinking through what monetization means in that world where you have vertical live streaming as well, and you have a lot of transient viewers as a part of a feed.
And we've seen recent expansions and changes to the monetization overall with regard to live streaming and how we're going to have the auto play ads in the live streaming, and then we'll have some measure of control over those. So I saw that announcement recently. So very good stuff there. So with regard to live streaming and everything, are we going to see anything else new with clips going forward?
Well, we've made clips more available in studio. So now you can see the clips that folks have created and understand the views that have come from those as well. So it's a great tool for creators to understand where their content is being used and how maybe viral it is outside of their own live stream.
Are there any plans to make clipping tools for our videos on demand after our live streams that we can go ahead and make ourselves and not just have our audience doing those as well?
I don't think we have any of those in plans right now.
Okay, well, we would love to
Another
see
feature request from Roberto?
Another feature request
Okay.
for Roberto. I've got a million of them.
I'll share it with the team.
No, sounds good. Updates to shorts.
Shorts, so we've had a few updates. Probably the one that a lot of your audience has heard most recently is the ability to link to other videos. We announced that a few weeks back.
Content links, yes.
Content links. It's a huge resource for creators to be able to take the fans that they find through shorts and help them discover the other content that they have available. I think it's only been out for a few weeks and already there's, I don't know the exact number, but maybe 40, 50 million views just from those content links.
Being generated from the content links. So you guys have seen evidence and data that the short form is funneling people into the long form already.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense anecdotally. Like if a creator or a viewer loves your content, they're going to want to learn more. And those links are so prominent that they make it really easy for viewers to click through.
One UI design nitpick that I would have that you guys could fix is like, I feel like for accessibility, maybe if there's some background behind the link that then separates and surround that, because I just feel from a accessibility standpoint, a visual acuity standpoint, that would be like really good. It'll stand out more. It's more clickable, but it also helps on the accessibility side. So I think
makes a lot of sense.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Depending on the background, it can actually be hard to see that sometimes.
Fair enough. If it could be adaptive though, AI, if it could be adaptive, that'd be great. So yeah, just always thinking with my design brain from that background. So, speaking of things going on in the background, I know you guys have more AI tools that we're not talking about just yet. So you want to go ahead and tease those out?
Yeah. So Dream Screen, it's one of the newest tools we talked about earlier today. You use a little bit of text and we'll generate the background based on your description. And so back to what we talked about earlier, making it efficient for creators, making it easier for them to get their work done. This allows them to quickly generate a background with a few words.
When I interviewed Renee last, one of my requests, one of my feature requests, one of the things I said is, I would love to see more where you just create everything you need with YouTube itself. It's great to have great tools like Adobe. There are great software out there, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, Filmora, everything. But for most creators, especially new creators, I think it'd be amazing that they could just open up YouTube with any device they have and know that they can create something great. And I think between giving them an AI generative tool that helps them right there with their scripting and their outline, then also gives them this dream screen to be able to create a dreamscape for their video off of their vision and to be able to make that in real time, I think is phenomenal. And it changes the dynamics of creation. One of my favorite creators to watch is CoffeeZilla. I don't know if you're familiar with his content, but he does a lot of the virtual production using green screen techniques, the kind of things we see in Star Wars.
Okay.
Putting that in the hands of a budget creator is something that I don't think that any platform has really done as effectively as what's being described here with YouTube.
Yeah, if you think about it and you take a step back, and you look at all these announcements we've made, they are bringing together different parts of the creative process with the eye to make it much easier and much more accessible for creators. And so starting from what content to create and these ideas and this inspiration you're going to get from the research tab to Dream Screen, which is going to create the background for you with a few taps. We haven't talked yet about the changes we're making on creator music.
I did want to get to that.
But we're going to allow you to describe the music you're looking for, and we'll find a track that fits that. And so instead of spending maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes listening to a bunch of tracks, we're going to give you 3 tracks which match either the tempo you're looking for, the moment you're looking for, or the excitement level you're looking for. We're going to make it so you can create what you want without having to spend all your time on those different tasks.
There's so much time in the bottleneck of just hunting for the right sound effect, the right music, and sound design adds a whole nother dimension of character to content and really makes it come alive for the viewer, sets tonality, helps with the storytelling, the buzzword we all hear so much about, the storytelling.
Yeah.
And so I really feel like this is a great step forward. Is there more that's going to be happening with creator music and generative AI, or is that something that we could look forward to in the future? I know it's probably not coming right away.
There's a lot of opportunity that generative AI has in the space of music. And so I'd say keep your eyes peeled.
That sounds
We're definitely working on new stuff in this space. But even just beyond music, figuring out other ways that generative AI can take some of that work and let the creator focus on what they do best versus all of those tasks, which actually add up to a lot of time in the creative process.
I'd love a feature where for the background music, where you could like hum a melody or a few bars, and then that could get there with the AI, could help you and everything like that, so that you have a way to like get exactly what you are in fact looking for. And then even with the dream screen, maybe being able to reference things with Google Lens might be ideal. I don't know if that's something that's in the works or something you guys have considered.
Good feature ideas.
Yeah.
I'll definitely share it with the team.
Yeah, I think, that just gets us that extra step, and it gets a creator closer to maybe if they can kind of like put something together, mock something up, sketch something out, they get very close to their definitive vision. Same thing with humming a few bars. So I really like that idea quite a lot. We've moved into the land of audio real quick. So I do have to talk about this. I want to know what's going on with the AI dubbing for localization and Google ALOUD integration into YouTube.
Great. We talked about it publicly a few months back at VidCon. The product's called ALOUD. And it's probably the thing that I've been most excited about when it comes to creator and the creator business, because the AI-based dubbing gives a creator a chance to take the content they've already put their energy into, already created, and through AI, dub it in multiple languages and make it instantly accessible to a much bigger audience than they had intended. Right now, we're in an early beta. We've rolled it out to a few users, and we've got a couple of languages that are working. I will get your name to the right folks. And I think it'll be a great chance for you to expand your audience in some of the markets where you have viewers, but you may not have language coverage. Are any countries at the top of your list?
Oh, top of my list. In terms of language for localization, I'm looking at Portuguese, Hindi, French, Germany, Spanish as well, obviously, because I do see a good deal of my audience with those languages currently, because right now I at least do the captioning on my videos.
Okay.
Thank you to Adobe Sensei for that, but and Rev.com as well. But I feel like by expanding there, especially with some of the topics that I cover with regard to content creation, the creator economy, I know we've seen massive expansion to creators, especially with shorts in countries where they speak Portuguese, Spanish, and Hindi specifically. So seeing the creator economy boom in those regions, that would be part of my focus as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest opportunities with a product like ALOUD is to grow. I mean, the languages you just talked about, you're talking about a few billion new potential viewers.
I can 4x to 20x my views if I have that localization, and I'm sure, and I can help thousands of creators that I would never be able to reach any other way.
And the beauty of it, and this gets back to AI, is that it's really actually no more work for you, because the AI is going to do all the translations and make those available to all these new viewers.
Yes.
We're pretty excited about it. We're going to be rolling it out slowly over the next few months and then expanding beyond next year.
Something I have to ask about that is, will I be able to also have this other feature to either have enhanced audio or even a commentary track? Because there are videos where I know sometimes the audio could be better here. I could offer a better audio experience to where it can be enhanced, or to where I can even offer a version of the audio that doesn't have my background music for creators who just need that clean track to be able to process the information. Is that something I'm going to be able to do instead of just being able to do the localization? Will I be able to do, hey, English, but this feature, that feature?
We did make available this concept of multiple audio tracks. And I think it could support actually what you're looking for, which is actually 2 English language tracks, or like the director's cut, or something like that. I'm fairly confident you can do that with what we've released.
That would be great, because I'd love to be able to give those experience of either like remastered or enhanced audio, especially to like videos that I produce that are still relevant, evergreen, where I'm like, the audio is not where it is now. Back then, I can just remaster that audio for them. Or again, give them that stripped down track that has no background music, so they can listen and learn if that's how they like to, process information. So very happy to hear about that. Extremely happy to hear about that.
I like the way you're thinking about it. And it gets back to, a lot of times creators ask for like what my number one piece of advice is. And it always comes back to this concept around potential audiences and understanding your core audience, but also those that are also interested in it, but are just not quite as visible to you. YTA, YouTube Analytics is your friend when it comes to that.
Yes.
You talk about that a lot.
Quite a bit. It's one of my passions because the thing is, I believe that when we have that data, we have the means to better understand our audience. And you hear me say it all the time, audience first creators win. The creator that understands their audience best and puts their audience first will win versus a creator that's focused very internally on purely their vision. It's important to be a creator that has a vision, but you also should be able to provide clarity to your audience, and you should know exactly how you're serving them and how to serve them best and how to serve them better than anyone else.
It's really well said. And you also say something else, which I think is important for creators to understand, which is your audience changes too. Just like fashion changes and what people are interested in changes. And you've got to be able to be aware of where your audience is going.
You have to be adaptive. You have to be able to meet them where they are and understand that they're not going to stand still just because you do. Yeah. And I think that's very important. I think creators that have longevity understand that. And even as audiences changes, I've seen YouTube adapt and change and expand the platform to meet audiences where they are and where they're going. And with that in mind, in the future of YouTube, I've got to talk about podcasting, as that's been one of the latest formats added, and I've been using the podcasting feature.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm streaming twice a week, and I get to double up on the formats. I'm streaming twice a week now. I put it into the podcast category. These are intensive deep dives into analytics and workshops on other topics. They're not always visually dependent, so I just go ahead and I throw them in that category. We have video and audio podcast in the YouTube Music app. So I want to know what else is coming when it comes to YouTube podcast.
You've probably taken advantage of a lot of the things we've done this year to make podcasts much more accessible, the playlists, so that viewers are able to see those much more easily than they might have been a year ago. We're going to make it easier to ingest RSS feeds in the coming months. So it'll be easier for you to get all of your existing content visible in YouTube. And just going back to what we talked about audiences, I think the other message I have to creators on this topic, which you've also shared, is that your audience consumes multiple formats over a given day. Like when I'm driving, I will listen to a podcast because it's really tough to watch. But if I'm leaned back at home, I may listen to the rest of that and watch the video for it because it's more entertaining.
And you might decide to watch it on the biggest screen in your house. I've seen my audience expand to 13% on connected televisions. And I get to see that in my YouTube analytics and say, okay, definitely prioritizing this or that, or hey, it's a good thing I future-proofed my content with 4K. It's a good thing that I'm going to be able in the near future to be able to live stream in 4K as some of the tools that I use kind of maybe start moving into the 4K bandwidth that you guys are supporting, the HDR, other things like that. So then the quality of everything I make is just going to be higher, and it's going to be for the device that people want to watch on. They can watch it in the way that serves them best. I love the expansion to YouTube Analytics. We're able to see how people interact with our different formats and which formats have crossover capability. The creators that I coach and I work with, some of my clients have been telling me that they've noticed that they have a live stream audience that is also their shorts audience, because even though they have those impulse watchers, they also have the FOMO and want to be part of the live experience when they are live. And so I think that that's been great. And speaking of analytics and speaking of the Creator Studio, I have to ask you about that. What else? I know we have a lot of things coming to Creator Studio. We have these generative AI outlines and prompts in the research tab. We have some other things coming. What else is coming to the Creator Studio in the future? So
if you've been an avid Creator Studio user, which I know you have, you probably noticed that in the past year, the mobile studio product has improved greatly.
Drastically.
The team has put a lot of energy into bringing that up. And there's actually some things now that are in the mobile product that you don't see in desktop, which you might have seen what we call stories, which are these...
The data stories,
Data stories, which tell you a story and an insight that helps you understand your audience in a much better fashion. We've got more work planned for the coming year. Part of what we're doing is in the content area, we're going to make it much easier for you to understand the different content formats and be able to understand the performance of those and manage those. In the past, it was all designed for VODs and long-form videos, and we're making it much more
bread and butter,
aware of both all the formats. The other area which we haven't quite talked about publicly, but we will pretty soon, is we're going to make it easier for creators to understand their upcoming payments. Today, you go to AdSense to understand what your paycheck will be, but we're going to actually make it easier for you to find that information in Studio.
Interesting. Can you allude to that anymore?
It'll be a part of the monetization area in Studio, and it'll tell you what you've earned so far and what your likely next paycheck.
Okay, so it'll be able to do projections for us and everything similar to kind of like a forecasting that a regular business would have on their back end of their payment processor.
It won't necessarily forecast what it's likely to be, but it'll let you know what is you're going to be your actual next payment. Analytics gives you a sense of where your earnings are heading.
Okay.
But to actually know when your payment was going to come, you always had to go to AdSense.
Yep.
Which we thought was a bad experience for creators. So we're going to bring that into Studio.
No, I think bringing more things into Studio in the way that creators are used to makes a lot of sense. Will we be seeing the controls over ad publishing coming to Creator Studio? Currently, you have to go to the AdSense website to say, hey, there are advertisers that I'm not okay with, or that would violate like a partnership agreement that I have that I need to block here. That's a convoluted process. You go to a whole nother website. Will we be getting more of that control in the Creator Studio dashboard in the near future?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It is actually a pain point today. We don't have any plans right now to bring it over, but in the spirit of trying to make Studio the one place for creators, you'll see that eventually come over.
One tool to rule them all.
Yes. Our work this last year has been bringing that together cohesive, and hopefully you've noticed the streamlined UI.
Streamlined UI, consolidation, clarity. I love it. I think it's going to be great. And I do agree with this idea of taking the distributed tools that exist across the Google ecosystem, contextualizing them for content creators into YouTube and consolidating them. So I've seen the clarity, the contextualization, and the consolidation, and I'm very happy with the direction that I'm seeing because I'm a big old nerd. I care deeply about the back end, the systems, and the stability of this, and I think that's going to serve creators, and I really appreciate all the work that you and the team are doing there. If anything, I would say that one of the final things I think I want to touch or cover with you with the remaining time that we have together. I could talk to you about this stuff forever. The thing that I would want to ask is, I suppose, or that my audience might really care about is, what is the definitive vision for YouTube over the next 5 years, and what can we expect in terms of that just teaser of that 50-foot, 500-foot overview of what YouTube and the future of that looks like over the next 5 years?
There's three things that the team obsesses over and we talk about repeatedly and focus on. First is the tools for you to be able to express yourself creatively. We talked about a lot of the tools we're announcing today. These are all tools that make it easier for creators to realize their passion, to express themselves, and to get their voice heard. We also want people who are creators and have a passion to be able to understand and grow their audience. You know, you have your content you're excited about, but what you're really building over the course of building that business is you're building a fan base. We want to create the tools that allow you to understand, nurture, and grow that audience. And the third big area for us is around monetization. AdSense has been a really important source of income for creators, but fan funding is probably in the very early stages. We think there's a much bigger opportunity for creators to earn directly from their fans. So we're putting a lot more energy into that. Brand sponsorships is another big area where
Brand
creators—
Connect, I've seen that.
Brand Connect, creators, and particularly in some verticals and in some regions, a lot of their income comes from that. And we want to make it easier for creators to earn. So those are the three main things that we think about as a part of our long-term vision. And all of our work is to improve each of those three on behalf of creators so they can reach their fans.
Actually, I have thoughts for you on all three of those things. I love this because it basically comes down to being able to offer the best content possible, being able to use that to grow, reach, and capture that audience and nurture that audience, and then being able to turn those casual viewers and fans into a super fan that supports you directly through a transaction. So I love that. Offer, lead, sale, basically. I love it. So the thing that I look at with that is what I think can help as something that would help creators be able to offer more to their audience is if there are massive updates to the YouTube video editor that allow people to create more with less, so that new onboarded creators and creators that don't have large budgets can feel like they're more competitive in the creator space with only what YouTube provides. I do still want there to be a room for low budget and accessible tools made by third parties. But at the end of the day, knowing you can do it with YouTube alone will be, I think, the strongest path to onboarding people and YouTube truly being the crown jewel of content creation in the creator economy, which I feel it stands there now, but I think that that would be the moat that defends its position in terms of the creation process. When it comes to that audience development and that audience growth, I think a lot of creators still don't fully understand what they're seeing when it comes to their analytics. And so I do believe that these data stories, or just taking even more thought into how those are conveyed, if there's a simplification that also comes with maybe an AI assistant that directs creators who maybe don't have the capacity to work with me, I feel like if they have that, that gives them a little bit of an edge, because I do feel that a lot of creators are lost in the wilderness and they just don't know. And if someone could just tell them how to better reach their audience, hey, tell me my thumbnail is bad. Tell me that this title can be better. Tell me that this topic just does not have a market cap and does not reach the broad audience that I imagine, that people aren't as excited about this thing as I am. Just tell me how many people care. I think that goes a long way. And also, I think for the last one, for monetization, I think that something underrated and underestimated that I'm seeing in the creator economy is microtransactions. And I think the capacity for microtransactions beyond super chats and super thanks is the key and the gateway, especially for scaling creators and creators abroad and internationally. I think being able to have those microtransactions that can come from anywhere in the world, where you can do offerings other than the subscription model of channel memberships, which has been phenomenal for creators for giving them monthly recurring revenue. I think creators need cash flow, and I think that microtransactions might be the key to that, if that nut can be cracked. So that would just be some input and some thoughts from
Some
me.
ideas off the top of your head. They're
Just
awesome.
off the top of my head.
Let me add a few things. One, I think you're spot on the first one. And so the product we talked about earlier today, YouTube Create, you can see a lot of our creation tools coming together in that product, which will make it easier for a creator who is starting tomorrow to be able to create the background, find the right song, and get a video out and get it published in a much easier fashion than when you started, where you were piecing all those things together individually.
Struggle bus,
Trying to figure out how to edit and getting a machine that was powerful enough to edit that video. We're gonna make that so easy, and it's gonna be on your mobile device. So that's YouTube Create, and I'm really excited about that. Data Stories is our first attempt to make the insights that are powerful, but sometimes hard to understand within YouTube analytics, accessible for folks. You'll see a lot more like that.
What are we calling the outlining tool? Because I also think that's a big piece of this as well.
Internally, we've been calling inspiration. And I think that's the term we'll use when it comes out in the research tab. And it really is meant to inspire you. And it's all those ideas won't be great, but they will spark other thoughts as well. And it gets you out of that blank slate. A lot of creators, that's some of the hardest moments when they're trying to work on new videos. Like, how do I come up with a new idea?
Yeah, that ideation process.
And we may give you 10 ideas. You may not choose any of those 10 ideas, but I bet those 10 ideas will spark another 15 ideas that gets you on that path to getting your next video out.
I agree.
You mentioned microtransactions. I couldn't agree with you more. I think we have a big opportunity there. There's a lot of work to do to figure that out, but I'm hoping someday soon we can talk about that in a little more detail.
I would love to. And I'm always happy to talk to you. Thanks so much for taking the time with me today.
Wonderful being with you.